Yo, Retro Future.
Hello Retropunks and welcome to a rebranded Steampunkish. I stopped this series originally because there didn't seem to be that much interest in it. However, with the start of our new narration channel on YouTube, the Retro Future Research Foundation, which you should really subscribe to, I decided to create a kind of a companion series about things that I enjoy and why I enjoy them. And maybe that will inspire my viewers as well. The topics we'll discuss here are not necessarily steampunk, but still inspired me and my creative decisions. It also serves as a kind of a companion series to stuff I do on the new channel, but I want that part to be strictly story and lore related, whilst doing on this channel whatever the hell I feel like. We started with videos on SCP. SCP is a collaborative wiki website where people post their stories in the fantasy, science fiction and horror genres. But these aren't your typical internet stories. These stories are written from the perspective of the fictional SCP Foundation. Now, there are already plenty of other channels that do narration and extensive lore videos on this universe, like Exploring Series and the Volgun. So I'll have to give this channel my own retro-futuristic twist. In this video I'll try to explain that if you are a fan of sci-fi or steampunk, you really should have a look at the SCP Foundation. Also, some people in the past have come to me on how to write SCP stories, because I'm working on a very similar short story project. I'll talk about that some other time, but maybe I'll do something with that as well. But enough about my projects. Let's talk about Secure, Contain and Protect, better known as SCP. The SCP Foundation, or just the Foundation, is an organization that operates clandestine and worldwide beyond any jurisdiction. Furthermore, the Foundation is supported by every major national government with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities and phenomena. These anomalies pose a significant threat to humanity and the world, and have been successful at wiping out all of mankind in the past. Fortunately, the Foundation has several safeguards in place for so-called total extermination events. These threats are described in SCPs, or Special Containment Procedures. All SCPs follow a certain structure, beginning with an item number such as SCP-217 or SCP-882, and then a containment classification follows. These classifications are Safe, Euclid, Keter, and Famuel. These will mean little to you, but as you read the SCP stories, their in-universe lingo becomes clear. But to get you started, this is what these classes mean. Safe class objects are easy to contain. For example, SCP-2406 is just a dormant colossus, destroyed in a long-forgotten war, and doesn't need any special containment procedures. But don't be fooled by the name. If these procedures aren't followed, these can be very deadly. SCP-028, for example, will give an individual all knowledge on one certain subject. However, the knowledge transferred can turn a person insane or lead to suicidal depression. So let it be clear that these classifications don't indicate the possible danger that any anomaly poses. Euclid class objects, on the other hand, cannot be properly contained due to their size, location, or their anomalous nature. One example of these is SCP-882, a machine that will consume anything made out of metal surrounding it, and will also manipulate any human that comes too close. Keter class can be difficult to contain, but require a huge expenditure of resources or extensive complex containment procedures. The most dangerous of phenomena are classed as Keter, and often pose an existential threat to humanity, the world, or the universal structure itself. One example is SCP-217, a virus that turns any living creature into clockwork automata. Famuel is a rarer class of object that can be used by the Foundation for the benefit of humanity. But just because the Foundation uses these SCPs for the benefit of mankind, doesn't mean these tales are all sunshine and rainbows. For there is one thing one needs to know about the Foundation, and that is that the ends always justify the means. The SCP story proper begins with a containment procedure, followed by a description of the anomaly or object. Depending on the story, these might contain journals and interviews that teaches the reader more about the anomaly. However, these SCPs rarely tell us the whole story, leaving many details to the imagination or for other writers to explore. For this reason, some words, names and sentences are either blanked out or redacted, adding to the mystery. Because the intellectual property of the SCP Wiki falls under Creative Commons, anyone can pick a story and follow up on it, meaning that the canon of the SCP universe is rather loose. But SCP writers exploit this to their benefit. The most notable example is SCP-1. 1 being a special number. Instead of choosing one particular story, instead the SCP Wiki offers multiple suggestions made by various writers. The idea is that SCP-1 is so important that the SCP Foundation hid it among other entries. However, on the question which of these is the real one, that is up to you, the reader, to decide. There are various canons on the wiki itself that connects various SCPs in their own timelines, such as the Broken Masquerade, where the SCP Foundation is no longer able to work in secret. Now, you might think this is very extensive, and yes, the amount of content sounds overwhelming. But SCP is not just about reading stories. It is about exploring ideas, and you have the freedom to explore whatever side of the SCP universe you want. You can also just pick random SCPs and take it from there. The best way to learn about SCP is by going to their wiki and dive right in. Or you can go to our second channel, the Retro Future Research Foundation, where we publish our narration videos, and if those don't satisfy you, you can check out older YouTube channels like The Vulcan. With this bare bones explanation, you can now begin your exploration of the SCP universe and all the intriguing concepts it has to offer. But why would a random sci-fi fan or steampunk be interested in this universe? First of all, it's a huge universe written in various genres with various themes. Lovecraft fans will enjoy stories like SCP-1936, Daleport. The explorers among you might enjoy SCP-1678, on London. And if you ask me why, well, you're going to have to find out for yourself. The reason why I started my narration videos on SCP is because of the Church of the Broken God. The basic premise is, what if steampunks really existed and worshipped a dead mechanical god? As everything SCP, the Church of the Broken God is not fully explained. They appear in various SCPs, like those that can be found on our other channel. Then there is the matter of canon, or rather the lack thereof. But I'll give you some basic information to get you interested and discover all of this for yourself. The origins of this church lay in antiquity, before the First Dark Age and the era of the Sea Peoples. Back then they were called the Mechanites, who worshipped the god of progress and logic, Mechan. Mechan brought civilization to humanity, and then taught them how to abandon the hunter and gatherer lifestyle. This upset the god of life and chaos, Yaldabaoth, the creator of the universe, worshipped by the Sarkites, who are still enemies of the Church of the Broken God to this day. The gods and their worshippers fought a war that the Mechanites won, but barely. And their god Mechan was forced to sacrifice itself to defeat Yaldabaoth by building a cage out of its own body, breaking itself apart. However, as Yaldabaoth stirs, her cage is breaking apart and could break free any day now. In modern times, the church has three main denominations. There is the Broken Church, which is the largest denomination led by Robert de Morrow. Then there are the Clockwork Orthodox, who are really into archaic steam engines and standardization. They do this because they want to resemble their fallen god Mechan. And the Church of Maxwellism, who seek to unite humanity in a digital network. The church attempts to restore their god and prepare for the return of Yaldabaoth. The latter goal they share with the Foundation, who are no friends with the Sarkites themselves. However, the two factions disagree on methods, and have faced each other off in deadly confrontations on several occasions. They also made some irresponsible deals with the factory, leading to a great disaster in the 1940s. Allegedly, of course. The factory is yet another anomaly the steampunks might enjoy. Again, this is just a tip of the veil, but if you're interested in these types of stories, go to the SCP Wiki and pick an entry. If you want stories on the Church of the Broken God, I'm making narration videos on them now, and I will start with videos on their enemies, the Sarkites, as well. If you're interested in videos on history and lore beside that of SCP, please let us know what you want to hear. I'm considering making background videos on the 6th World of Shadowrun as well, as it gets far too little love on YouTube. If you have other subjects in mind, historical or fictional, I'd love to hear it. I want to end this video with a thank you to my patrons. Thank you all so much, this really helps us a lot. If you want a personal thank you at the end of our videos, check us out on Subscribestar. And of course, if you enjoy our past readings, subscribe to our other channel, the Retro Future Research Foundation. And with that being said, make things your way. Damn it, I'm probably gonna need another catchphrase for the new channel.